You gotta wait. Come on, let's go. Come on, duty head. Let's go. Obi, come on. Walk. Gotta move those little feet. Oh, you just took a nice big turd right in my living room. Right in my living room. Oh my God, my house stinks. It stinks. I gotta take this off. Hold on a second. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh, good gracious. Oh, dogs. Gotta love them. I'm the baby, gotta love me. Big purple eyes, I'm very tired. Especially when I hit her daddy with the frying pan. Why is that even in my head? I don't even know. Hold on a second. I just spent $20 on dog bones. Why? Why? Why is everything so goddamn expensive right now? That's the real question. Oh, he's gonna like these things though. Everything's so expensive at Petco and PetSmart. Hey, good morning, good morning. How come this ain't opening? I always mess these bags up, dude. You know those bags that like have like the little Ziploc built in? I don't know what my problem is, but I can never seem to get them open. Oh boy, somebody's gonna be excited right now. I just give him his little bully stick. Ah, look what mommy got. What this? What that? Oh, is that for you? Yeah. Go chew it. Come on, you want to come inside with it? Or you want to stay out here with it? I'm in PetSmart with this little shit. He's not that little, actually, anymore. He's almost 40 pounds. So he's getting big. But I go into PetSmart because I had a harness. I had to go get his ears wrapped this morning. He only has 3 more weeks, I think. 3 more weeks with his ears. So I go to PetSmart because for some reason his harness broke I don't even know how. I don't know how it broke. So I'm like, oh, now I got to get him another harness. So I go into PetSmart and I'm walking around and I'm like, this would probably be easier if I put him in the cart. So I put him in the cart. Like he's been in the cart before a million times, right? This motherfucker literally launched himself out of the cart. He's like standing there for like 2 seconds and then he just, like a rabbit just jumped up in the air and lands on the floor. And he just starts walking like nothing happened. I'm like, did you like just see that? You just jumped out of the cart, dude. Like he didn't even, the weird part was it's not like he climbed out of it where he put his paws up on like the side. He literally just like bounced like a friggin' kangaroo out of there. I never seen anything like it. I'm like, oh my God, this puppy, he is insane. He's insane. He's insane. So yeah. So I had to get him a new harness and then new I had to buy him a new collar yesterday because collar just like all of a sudden, like overnight, got too tight on him because he's just growing. And so I was like, let me get him a bone. I don't give my dogs rawhide. I haven't since Snoop got sick. So I just bought the bully sticks. They're so freaking expensive. 2 of them was like $20-something. It's like insane. But anyway, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we're in the home stretch with his ears. He's really got this week. Oh, let me see. This week is what? His last appointment is actually, 3 more weeks. So his last appointment is the 28th for his ears. And then that's it. Thank God. So sick of doing this. It's just a pain in the ass. You got to go to the vet every week. They wrap his ears up. He's almost done. Come on, you want to come in? Nope. He's like, I'm enjoying my bone. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, the bully sticks stink. I bought the ones that maybe that's why they're so expensive. It says that they don't smell, supposedly. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. That shall be seen. I'm pretty sure it said that on the package. Hold on. Or maybe I didn't get those. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, these ones, I mean, whatever. Dogs stink. Their shit stinks. Yeah, that's what the rawhide's just no good. When I was younger, my parents gave the dogs rawhide bones all the time. It's all they would chew. But with Snoop, after he got sick, since we didn't know what caused him to be sick, when he was a baby, we just like everything that we were giving him prior to him getting sick, we stopped giving to him. So rawhide, I don't even know if I gave him rawhide necessarily, but I might have bought like something with rawhide in it. But we just didn't give him anything that could potentially cause any type of problems. What? Pug's walrus penis? I don't think I'll be giving my dog any of those, but well, isn't that what the ballistics technically are? Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. Fucking gross. Like even with Snoop, I didn't give him no stuffed toys because when he was a puppy, he got something like happened. I don't remember exactly what. And we brought him to the vet and they did an x-ray and you could like literally see the stuffing in his stomach. So I'm very careful with the stuffed toys. Like for the puppy right now, it's okay. But once he starts getting like more aggressive in his chewing, which he will, and he is, then that's it. Those will go in the garbage. I didn't do string toys with Snoop. I didn't do any of that because he was like a super aggressive chewer. I mean, he would destroy things. People are like, oh, get him the deer antlers. They last forever. They would last him like 2 days. He would chew the shit out of it. I mean, he was like a super, super aggressive chewer. So Dobermans they can chew pretty hard. Oh, good, crazy Gemini. I'm not gonna be live all that long because I have some shit to do today. But I was just dude, two things that I just saw. I'm in the car, I was driving, so I'm like, let me just throw on something to listen to. One of them was on the Kool-Aid channel. I can't wrap my mind around this woman. I mean, after what, 4 years, Molly Go Lately, she puts on, dude, like, I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? Apparently, her son got a letter from this girl at school, okay? And for whatever reason, he gave it to her. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if he gave it to her or she just, found it or whatever. And she decides to read it online. She decides to read this shit online. And I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? Like, this is a private letter that this young girl wrote. And she even reads the girl's name. So I'm like, well, that's great. So now if anybody from his school is watching and they hear her talking about this, they're going to know exactly which girl it is because her name was kind of, I wouldn't say uncommon, but I don't think it's a very popular name. I'll put it like that. Like right now, might have been popular like back in the day, but I don't know if it's all that popular right now. So I'm going to assume that there's not many people with the same name. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Like, there's just something wrong with her, dude. There's something wrong with her. You'll hear her 5-week naming. Oh, it's wrong with her. Yeah, Nana. But I'm like, I would never. Hey, soldier, I would never do that to my son. And first of all, it's embarrassing to him, but more so, it's embarrassing to the girl who she's doing that to. And I'm like, I just don't get it, dude. I would never fucking do anything like that ever. Yeah, it was disturbing. And I'm like, I don't know if she's doing it like, all right, girl, we believe you. Your son's, popular. He's well liked. Okay. With the ladies and whatever grade he's in. We get it. We got you. Like, you don't have to prove it anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to prove it to us anymore. We believe you that your son's the man in the high school over there. Okay. So you could stop trying to prove it to us now. Stop embarrassing him. Stop embarrassing the girls that he talks to and just let it be. I mean, I never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like that. So why would she announce the name of the girl is so unethical? Because she's an asshole, Pete. Like, she's just a fucking asshole. She really is. I just can't even wrap my fucking head around it. I would never do that. I would play it on here, but I don't even want to because I feel like the girl's already been mortified enough. I'm not going to spread it anymore. If you guys want to watch it, just go to the Kool-Aid channel and it's there, But I'm not, I feel this girl like poured her heart out, and it's like a really personal type of letter with really kind of just exposing her insecurities. And I got to give her credit for writing it. I mean, because I didn't shit when I was that age, I wouldn't have had the balls to write that to a guy that I liked. But I'm like, you know what? The girl at the end of the day, the girl's lucky. She dodged a bullet because not because of him, but because she if she dated him, right, she would have to deal with her. And so in that sense, she dodged a bullet, not having to deal with her. I mean, I just don't know what the fuck is wrong with this lady. I really don't. It's really sick. Oh, there's the little piece to his clip for his harness. Okay, well, now I know where that is. So yeah, just really gross. Really fucking gross. It is gonna backfire on her. I just don't understand the need to do that. I don't get it. I'm like, I feel like she's like trying to prove that her son is like popular or something. And it's like, that's great and all, but like, you don't need, nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares that much. Fucking weirdo. She's such an asshole, dude. Such an asshole. Like, dude, this is a 15-year-old girl. It seems that her and her friend Justin have no sense of minors. You know, her friend Justin is trying to unblur pictures of a minor girl who's in the car, and he's making what's worse, what's more insulting than him doing that. Sometimes these people just need to learn to just shut up. He tries to explain himself, after, and there's no explanation, dude. You're just gross, It's one thing if you want to do that on your own for your own curiosity. I get it, but to do it and then publicize it, put it on the internet, put it on your channel, that's totally different. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you can't unblur. You're right. You're 100%. But that, if you listen to the original video, that's not what he did. He didn't try to unblur. What he was trying to do was, and if anybody's ever edited videos, right, there's this thing called keyframing, or some people call it tracking, right? And when you blur something out, it's like, picture if you're looking through a target, right? Like a scope, and you have to follow that target, right? With the scope in order to shoot something. It's kind of the same way, right? You're trying to keep the blur on a moving target. The camera's moving or whatever. In this case, it was the camera. Sometimes it's the target that's actually moving, whatever it is that you're trying to blur, So in this case, it was the camera. So what he was doing was he was going frame by frame to see if their tracking was off or their keyframing was off. Because when you blur things, what you have to do is you have to track it, right? So you'll start, and then you have to make sure that the blur is moving with the object that you're trying to blur. So sometimes if you skip too many frames in your keyframing or your tracking, you'll end up maybe showing a little bit of the object, by accident. It happens sometimes accidentally, because if you watch it in regular speed, it might look like it's catching up, and it's fully blurred. But I went back and I watched the video, and I actually noticed a little spot where their keyframing was off, right? And this was just on the regular video. And you can't really see anything, but that's what he was looking for. He was looking for that little split second that somebody missed the target and showed something. And then he was going to unblur that. And it's like, dude, like, I get it. If you want to do that on your own for your own, knowledge, but just be respectful to the family. AWP blurred the video for a reason. I'm sure that even without the blur, you probably can't see much, given the fact that it's underwater. The water's cloudy. You got, the windows that have different reflections from light and whatever else. And there's also, some dirt on the car. So you probably can't see much as it is, but it's like, why would you even do that? Especially when you see in the video that the parents are like, the dad is in the video and he walks away and he's like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to, like, let me just tell you guys, please do me a favor. Go just so that you can understand how these families feel. when these fucking weirdos sit there and contact them and harass them and criticize them and judge them. I just watched a video last night on Justice for Cash Gurnan. Is that the name of the page? And if you go on my community page, it's listed in there. And Connie Ward, who is the grandmother of Cash Gurnan, who was, if you guys don't know the story, he was kidnapped out of his bed, basically, by this young guy. Very weird story. And then left in the road, deceased, basically. So he was obviously murdered by this young man. For what reason? I don't know, but anyway, the grandmother was harassed, and we've heard that, right? We've heard that she's been harassed on here by a certain creator, Molly Golightly. And so on that channel, I don't know who it is. I'm not sure who exactly runs the Justice for Cash Gurnan, or no, I'm sorry. I think it's Cash Gurnan Family. I think that might be the name of the page. My bad. I'm not exactly sure who runs that, if it's actually Connie herself or if there's another family member that runs that page, right? But whoever it is, they posted this video, and there's an interview / reaction, right? Because there's somebody, I don't know who's hosting the video. My apologies. I just don't know who it was. But there's somebody, kind of questioning her. She's on the panel, and then they're playing a video that she did that was talking about her, and her family, and how she called her, and just accusing her of various different things. And I think it's important for people to listen to that, because you really need to hear from the family's perspective how, we heard Frankie Rusick, those of us who were around for that, but some of us weren't around. Some of you guys weren't around for the Chris Watts days, okay? When she was defaming that family. This isn't, the whole point is that this isn't like some isolated incident where this happened only one time. I mean, this is like a pattern of behavior that's been happening again and again and again and again, constantly. It's just like every new story comes a new family that's being, harassed or berated or lied about. And it's just fucking gross, man. It's fucking gross. Hey, figure skating coach, you're getting your girl. That's so funny, because I think the last time you were in here, I had just done my nails and you were getting your nails done, and now I need a fill, but I don't have time this week to do it, so I'm gonna have to wait until next week. And I hate when I need a fill, because I can feel it on my nails because they're so long. You can actually I don't know, it feels different. I can feel it when I scratch my face or something. I'm jealous, basically, is what I'm saying, because I need a fill done. But anyway, I do it myself, so it's a little time consuming, and because my nails are so goddamn long. But yeah, I might shorten them, actually, because with the dog now, I've been walking him, and when he pulls, the other day, he literally almost pulled my nail off my finger. My nail got caught with the leash, and yeah, that shit hurt. So I might have to substantially shorten them. So, all right. So there was one more thing, and this is just really on another level of psychotic. And if she's going to strike me, I mean, go ahead, strike me, bitch. But I need to play this, because this is just on another fucking level. There's one more thing I want to address here too, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You're so close. Boost your earning potential and reward your audience. Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to do that. All right, so let me see if I can find this again now. Dude, these people are just sick, man. Really sick. But anyway, back to the whole thing with Connie and, the Cash Gurnan situation. It's like, dude, I mean, nobody ever asked for help in that situation. She goes out, she contacts these people on Facebook or whatever means she used to contact these people, right? And when they don't comply with her demands, she starts lying about them. And it's just like, dude, I could relate with these people because, my mom passed away. Okay. So that in and of itself is just horrible. Losing your mom, having to watch her go through what she went through, battling this illness in and of itself is extremely traumatizing and just hard to go through. Right. But I had this added stress from my family of all this nonsensical fighting that didn't even need to happen, and I had this complete, to me, who somebody who was a complete stranger involved in my situation, trying to control my situation, lying, just doing all these crazy fucking things, right? And that made an already hard situation that I was going through like 100 times harder than it actually had to be, for no fucking reason. Just purely because this person's a psychopath and a narcissist and needs to control things, right? So I could relate in some aspect to what these people are going through. It's like you're already going through a hard enough time. You lost a family member tragically, okay, which is even harder. And especially when it's a child, and you're dealing with that alone. That alone is just horrendous. But now on top of it, you got all these crazy people from the internet speculating. And, even this morning I was watching I've been following this channel for a while. Evil Exists, it's called. And they have like this robotic voice. I don't know why they use the robot voice, whatever. Doesn't matter. But they make a lot of videos, like short videos, maybe like a minute, 2 minutes. So, they're following this Kylie Rodney case, and they're like, oh, Sammy, the friend, lawyered up. So I heard. So I wrote underneath the video. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that this girl's behavior hasn't been odd. Some of the things that she said, some of the behavior, it's been very odd, and suspicious, at best. Like it's suspicious. I agree with that. But we have to be careful. These channels just need to be more careful putting this shit out, because think about this, right? These are young kids. Some of them are minors. Some of the kids involved in this whole entire story, they're minor children, right? And they haven't even started their lives yet. And there's nobody there, unfortunately for them, there's nobody there guiding them and telling them, well, you probably shouldn't talk to the news. You probably shouldn't go on a YouTube channel and do an interview. You probably shouldn't be making these posts on Instagram. They're young kids, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have the life experience that we have. And so they're making these statements thinking that they're helping, their situation, and they're not. And for all, we don't know. We don't know right now if a crime was even committed, right? So putting out all this speculation on these people and allowing this forum for people to speculate and accuse these kids, right, of wrongdoing is just kind of fucked up to me. It's, whether you think it or not, it's okay to think those things and it's okay to have the discussions, but there has to be some kind of limitation on it, because you could really ruin people's lives. What if this was just a big accident and these kids, have no involvement in it? What if? I'd rather be wrong and or just play it safe and not, draw more attention to destroying these people's lives. Justice will come. When they get back I just listened to actually another channel today that was it's called Profiling Evil, I think it's called. And the guy was he was an investigator, so he has credentials like duty run and off the, police off the cuff. He has those kind of credentials where he's been part of investigations before. And he made a really good video just kind of talking about the same kind of thing where, it's important not to have all this like speculation right now. And you could potentially ruin somebody's life with the amount of speculation that's going on, because, in due time, we'll find out when her autopsy comes back. And that's what this channel was saying. If there's water in her lungs, then it's more likely to be an accident, but if there's no water in her lungs, then we know that there was foul play involved. That means that she was deceased before she was, pushed into the water, right? All these people speculating, like, like on AWP's video, they're like, oh, she was found in the back of the vehicle. Well, if you really think about that, that's impossible. People are imagining that she was found in the very back of the vehicle, the cargo area. But you have to remember that the vehicle was actually turned upside down. And how could she be in the cargo area? That doesn't make any sense. right? Especially if you watch the video and you listen to what he's saying. He swims by the back window, right? And he has to kind of get down low to look in it because it was halfway open. And he's like, oh, I see a pair of sneakers. So that tells me that her feet were kind of more towards the back seat, not in the cargo area, right? And then when he went around the back of the vehicle and he looked in the back windows, the very back window, that's when he said he was able to confirm that there was human remains. So in my mind, she was obviously laying on the ceiling part of the car because it was upside down, and her feet were kind of positioned in the back seat, maybe half or maybe fully. And then if you look, you could actually see the very bottom of a sneaker in the footage, right? At one point. And then, as he goes around. So, people are imagining that she was found like in this little tiny cargo area in the back. And it's like, that's not how it was, because you guys have to remember that the car was upside down. So she couldn't have been in that cargo area because the car was upside down. And, at first her body's going to sink. And then unfortunately, I mean, as disturbing as it is to think of and morbid, it will float up eventually. Eventually, it could take weeks for that to happen. So, I mean, the whole point is it's just like we don't know. We don't know anything right now. We don't know much. Does it look suspicious? Yeah, in my opinion, given the fact that the two windows were open, right? But this was another thing that was in this video today that he was discussing. Given the fact that the driver's side window and the back window, right, was halfway open, and then she was found towards the back of the vehicle, I'll say. I'm not going to say she was found in the back. She was found towards the back of the vehicle. One would conclude that, like, why didn't she just swim out the window? But you also have to remember, okay, this all happened potentially at nighttime, right? And even if it didn't happen at nighttime, even if it happened during the day, it's very easy to get disoriented once you're in a situation like that and you're in the water. It's happened to me before when I was in the ocean. It's part of the reason why I don't go in the ocean anymore, is because I got sucked under the waves, and I couldn't find my way back up. I didn't know which way was up because I kind of had tumbled around and I couldn't figure out which way was up, and it was very scary. So, in a car, if it was at night, you can only imagine, we will know when the coroner concludes his investigation. Exactly. And like, if you watch AWP's video, there's two videos that they put out about escaping a car. One of them was by Josh Cantu, who's their videographer. He shows a little clip from an old video that was on what's that shit? Mythbusters, right? Where they are in a sinking car. And in the video, he gets disoriented, and this is during the day. He gets disoriented as the car is going down and couldn't find his way up or out of the window. So, I mean, there's so many different factors involved here. These people are just I just don't get it. I just don't get what they're going to accomplish by all this speculation, because no matter how much we sit here and speculate, we're not going to know the truth until the autopsy reports are done. So what's the purpose of all the speculation right now? You're not going to solve the crime. Even if you're right, it doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter because we're not, the only thing that's going to confirm your suspicions. It's like, is this some type of race for people to be right? I don't get it. But you're not going to like confirm these suspicions until the reports come out. So I just don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Yeah, you have very little amount of time to get out of the car. Very little. Like 30 seconds, very little. And think of how fast 30 seconds goes in a situation like that. AWP. You're right, Chick. Chick, you're 100% right there. You're 100% right. I'm going to agree with you on that. They did start the speculations. They did. I agree with that. And I'm not saying they're wrong for doing so. I'm just saying that, that doesn't mean that you have to speculate. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you should be going and trying to unblur pictures of a minor's body in the back of the fucking trunk. Like, Justin, what are you going to get out of that, dude? You know, besides some claps and pats on the back, what the fuck are you going to get from that? Oh, I'm sorry, and some clicks and views. What else are you supposed to get from that? You know, the police aren't going to hire you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get anything out of that. So I don't understand it. I don't understand why. If you want to know for your own knowledge, that's great. But I guess it's just the complete lack of respect for the families that bothers me. It's the complete lack of respect for what these people are dealing with and going through right now that bothers me. There's nothing I can't stand more than stupid people with no common sense speculating. Yeah, it's pretty fucking gross. He gets his rise in his Levi's. He's demented. I mean, it's just gross, dude. It's just gross. I was shocked by their video. Who by AWP. I'm not shocked by their video, and I'm not gonna come down on them just because, you know, first of all, there's no question in my mind that they asked, you know, or got some type of consent from the family before they posted the video. They always do. They always do. The family, I mean, if you're a longtime follower of them, and I've been following them, I know a lot of people are new to their channel because of this case. I've been following them for way longer, and they always put the family first. AWP. Okay. I think that you know what? I'm going to take back that they started the speculation because they didn't. Maybe they started more speculation. Okay, they added to the speculation, but I don't want to say that they started the speculation because that's not fair to put that blame on them because the speculation was already happening due to the friends giving interviews and stuff like that. They just added, you know, more speculation to it. But I feel like, you know, they always worry about the family. They always get the family's consent. They would never do anything without, you know, the family's consent in the videos that they make. And they also put out what the police, you know, that's the other thing. They work hand in hand with the police, and they also put out what the police allowed. And maybe that was a strategic thing on the police's part, you know, was to kind of start a pressure campaign of sorts. You know, you have this huge channel, this huge platform that put out this video that makes certain people look guilty without actually making, you know, saying their names or something like that. And maybe that was a strategic move on their part. I don't know. But I just don't see AWP being irresponsible with their platform like that, the way Ryan fuck is right now. I just don't see them being that irresponsible, especially when they're working hand in hand with the police. So they only put out what they are allowed to put out. And so maybe that was a strategic move for them to put that out to maybe get some parties talking and see what happens. Who knows? The way AWP put the info out in that video encouraged speculation, and the comments are out of control with insane theories. And I agree with that. But maybe there was a reason for it. You know, we don't know, and we'll find out. The whole thing is, though, you don't have to participate in the speculation online. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feels like they have to participate because the information's there. And, you know, some of it's crazy. And I don't know. I really, at this point, to be quite honest with you guys, I'm leaning more towards foul play. I am, just with what we know. But that remains to be seen, you know, as time goes on. I just don't feel comfortable accusing people right now. You know, is there, you know, behavior suspicious? Yeah, it is, you know, but I'm just not comfortable going on this like crazy fucking, you know, witch hunt right now for these people. I've been part of that before in the past, and I don't ever want to do that again, you know, because I saw the effect firsthand of what it did to the family, and I just don't want to ever be part of that again. When they're here for Sandy, they totally got permission for all footage use. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you shouldn't have been such a dick when Zach disappeared. What? So, I mean, listen, and everybody's going to have a different opinion. And I'm sorry, let me just scroll up because I forgot who just gave me that opinion. Hold on, Andrea. I'm not, you know, you're entitled to your own opinion, and I could see it from multiple perspectives. You know, I could see all different people's point of views in this situation. It's just, it's just a little, it's just fucking, the way this shit gets out of control. Like this morning, the video I was talking about, I think I cut myself off, but this Evil Exists channel, right? They put out this thing that this friend, Sammy, lawyered up. They heard she lawyered up. And I'm like, why don't you, did you validate this information? Because now see what's going to happen is all these people are going to be like, oh, she lawyered up. But is that actually true? What confirmation of that do you actually have? Don't put that out there unless you know for 100% fact that it's true. That's why I have respect for the Plunder channel, because she does, first of all, she probably does the most research I've ever seen anybody do on a true crime cases. She really does put her work in. She does public information requests, and 9 out of 10 times she puts out things that are factual. And if she makes a mistake, she always corrects her mistakes, but and if she's speculating, she makes it clear that she's speculating, or that she's not 100% sure that this wasn't 100% confirmed. And that's what a responsible person will do. But you have these other channels that put things out that like they're factual and they don't know if they're actually factual. I seen a fucking thing on Betty Bullhorn. I seen a little clip and it says that somebody was arrested, right, for this case. And I'm like, that's fucking so untrue. Why would you put that in your title? That's not true. Somebody was arrested for murder. Oh, all right, Kate. Kate, when you're ready, let us know. We'll share it in here. I've been following Plunder since the day she started her channel. Literally, since the day she started her channel. I was there because I was that into the Chris Watts case, and I was part of all the Facebook groups and all the speculation and shit. And I made a big mistake following that case and participating in that. Like, I'll never fucking do that shit again. I'll never, to that extent. No, never again. Never again. She probably got a lawyer to sue all YouTubers that have gone after her. Yeah, like nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows. 18-year-olds, like I listened to her interview actually multiple times that she did on that weirdo's channel. I don't know what the guy's name is, American something. And I agree that there's, a lack of emotion there that I find very weird. But then again, I can talk about things that I've gone through that are tragic without, having crying and stuff. I just have that ability. I always have. That doesn't mean that I don't cry. I cry all the time, but I'm more of a kind of closeted private crier. I really don't even cry in front of my family. I cry at night when nobody's around. But all right, so so I could go either way with that. The other thing is, did she say some things that sounded a little off to me? Yeah, but she's young, she's a teenager, and teenagers say stupid shit, and they don't, I mean, so like I try to keep that in mind too while I'm watching it. And it could go either way for me right now. There's, it's a couple of more weeks or maybe even a month or so that we have to just wait for answers in this case. In the meantime, there's fucking so many more people that are missing, or, their crimes haven't been solved, that you could be putting information out on instead of all this other bullshit, I don't fucking get it. I have followed Plunder day 1 too. Who else had a visual of her mind as her voice now? I knew she was a Black woman, Kate, but I thought for some reason my visual in my mind did not match. I thought she was older woman. I thought she was probably in her like 50s, late 50s. Not saying that that's old. I'm just saying like older than she is, because in my opinion, she looks like she's in her 40s somewhere, I would say, but she's an absolutely beautiful woman, and I just know my vision of her did not match up with what she actually looked like. In fact, I was pretty shocked when I actually saw her. I don't know. I just had a more conservative look in my mind. I don't know. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful, Plunder. She's a very intelligent lady. I mean, there was one point with the Chris Watts case that I felt like she was getting a little carried away with the Nicole Kessinger involvement, but like every other time I've gone to her case, her channel for information about a case, she's very responsible in the way that she like reports things and puts facts out and researches. And, she never takes the speculation so far. She'll talk about the speculation, but she never gives a real solid opinion on how she feels. And she'll present both sides of the story. It could be this or it could be that. But she never like presents it as fact, which is something that I appreciate, Anyway, plunders for, that's, Tamara, I personally feel like they kind of just pushed her off, like, November, because reality is they don't know when their investigation is going to be completed. So I think they just kind of gave her, some time, and that could change. And they wrote that in their, in their letter that it could change. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I have my own feelings and theories on this situation. Definitely seems suspicious to me, but we don't know yet. And I'm just going to leave it there and wait to see what law enforcement says, because there's no rush, dude. You're not going to solve this crime from your house. You know what I'm saying? On a laptop. It's just not going to happen. So, you're at this point, if you're not sharing facts, all you're doing is speculating, you're just doing this for money at this point in time. You're just putting the name in the title so that you get the clicks and views, because this is a hot topic right now. I'm thinking that Paul is just a tad bit older than me, early 50s now. That's possible. If she is, Kate, God bless her. She looks phenomenal for her age. I think she does. She looks beautiful. She really does. I just like, I was shocked that she was on camera the first time. I'm like, that's not her. That's not her. She's got like a style. I don't know. I was just kind of shocked. I don't know. Sometimes, like, even with Gray Hughes, dude, I knew Gray Hughes since 2013, I think, when I followed the Jodi Arias trial. And like, I never heard his voice, because at that time he just did uploads. He didn't narrate anything. Everything was like on screen, words that were typed narration. So I never heard his voice. I didn't know anything. And I always used to wonder, what does Gray Hughes look like? And it was like, when I saw him for the first time on a live stream, I was like, oh wow, that's like totally not what I was like. I don't know. I just totally wasn't expecting him to look the way he looked for some reason. Not that he looked bad. I just had to, I don't know. I just couldn't even, I don't even know if I really had a picture in my mind of what he looked like, but I expected him to be a hell of a lot more nerdy looking, but he's not, he's Gray Hughes, but I didn't think I thought he would look like super duper nerdy is basically what I was going to say, but he didn't, and I thought he would be a little younger for some reason. I don't know why, but I thought he was like around my age, maybe. I think it's just because I don't know. I don't know why I thought he was younger, but I was definitely surprised. AWP is finding missing loved ones, and they can make $100K a month, and it would be okay with me. That's the whole thing. I always go back to that with them, is that they're investing their money. And if you do watch their channels, all their channels, right? They don't just have AWP is Jared's channel, right? That's the main channel. But Doug has a channel. All the guys have their own separate channels. And if you really watch all the other channels and the behind the scenes, then you'll really get a better understanding of how they spend their money and what they use it for. And Jared's very transparent. He's not, he's very open and honest. He has a whole video on that channel explaining how they're funded. They're nonprofit organization. They find people. And so I'm okay with them, doing what they do. It's part of that's how they're funded. Just like many other nonprofit organizations, they're funded by donations. So what's the difference? This is just any other search organizations, right, that are out there like EquiSearch. They're all funded by donations by the public. So this is no different. The only difference is that you're able to go along with them while they're searching. But other than that, it's no different than any other nonprofit organization that searches for people, for missing people. So Kate, I remember that because back in the day, Molly Golightly doxed the shit out of her. Like, doxed the shit out of her for no reason, like she does with many other people. But I do enjoy her channel, and like there's very few true crime channels that I actually have respect for, but she's definitely one of them. I think she does great research, and I also think she does a really good job of putting the story together for you, with visuals and facts. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not facts, she'll put that in there. And anytime I want to like catch up on something and I want to know the whole story, I always go to her channel because I know she's going to have a comprehensive video with all the facts in there. So, and not just a discussion. Tamara, I got to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest, I follow 10 to Life, but I've caught some things sometimes where she's gotten some things wrong in videos, like on cases that I've followed closely, and I'm like, ugh. And she could get a little carried away with the speculation sometimes too. But I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying she's not, for me, she's not the most reliable source when it comes to information. Like who's the other person? What's her name? Kendall Ray. When she puts a story together, she does her homework. She does it very well too. And she's always factual. She really doesn't put too much speculation in cases. But yeah, I mean, listen, everybody has their own people that they like. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I rather get my information from like news sources than YouTubers for true crime cases, at least for just the facts, the initial facts. And then, okay, then I'll explore other channels and, like Plunder and stuff to see what they have to say. Cause sometimes it's hard to gather all those, news reports from all over the place, especially when they're constantly being updated. And so the original reports are being pushed to the bottom. It's good that there's channels out there like Plunder who kind of collect all that shit and put it together in one central place for you, you know? But yeah, I mean, everybody has their people that they like to watch and that they enjoy. So I want to talk about the other thing I wanted to talk about was this guy Uni, right? Uni Rock. And his I was watching him, for a while because he's doing this whole fraud raiser thing, right? With this Justice for Vaughn situation. And I was respectfully just kind of, watching from the peanut gallery, I guess. And then he had he's been talking about this, investigation that he's doing, and he's going to do this video and all this stuff, and that's fine. We've seen this so many times. I think it's really frustrating for those of us that have followed or known of Molly Golightly for 4 years, right? To see all these people come into this community or to find her, and then some of them just can't see through her for some reason, and then you have other people that see through her, but and then they're like, oh well, she's horrible, she's a horrible person, and I'm gonna call her out, I'm gonna do this, and then they either get snowed over by her or they just like give up, and we've seen it so many times, so many fucking times in this community, so many times that people just come in and they are like all big and bad in the beginning, and then all of a sudden changes. So I'm watching his live stream the other night, and he's talking about having a conversation with her on his channel. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I even wrote it in the chat. I'm like, there's two things that are going to happen here. Okay. One of them is definite that's going to happen, is that she's going to try to manipulate you, that because that just goes without saying, whenever she gets called out for something, her behavior, it could either go two ways. It's either she's going to attack you and she's going to go after you, and do really shitty things, dox you, go real life and all that kind of stuff. Or she's going to try to manipulate you and get you onto her side to see things the way that she sees them. And so, yeah, Tamara, he folded. So he goes up on the panel, and listen, I wasn't expecting, just from watching him for the little, short period of time that I did, I wasn't expecting this guy, this fucking dog. Hold on a second. Are you kidding me, dude? Oh my God. You fucking penis. he will not go out in the freaking grass for some reason because it's wet. Ugh, Ovi. So, all right, I wasn't expecting this guy to get up and have like this all out war with her because you could just basically tell by his personality that that's just not him. You know, he's not a confrontational um, kind of person. You could just tell. But I was expecting that if he did have a conversation with her, and now I wrote this in his chat too. In my opinion, and you know, it's my opinion, could be wrong. After following her for so long, and I don't even want to say following her because I don't really follow, I haven't followed her for quite a while. And, you know, recently just like have been seeing things because of the Kool-Aid clip channel. But after knowing of her, I'll say for so long and knowing her behavior and watching her in various different situations where she's being called out, holy shit, I just totally lost my train of thought right there. After watching her, what the hell was I going to say? I watched him way back when he did a series. His behavior was bad as they are nutty. Really interesting. Oh, okay. But I mean, after watching her for so long, you just know what she's going to do. You know the kind of behavior that's going to come when she's confronted by somebody. You know what I'm saying? You just know. So I'm like, this is, to me, oh, that was what I was going to say. To me, after following her for such, you know, period of time, I personally feel like having a conversation with her about anything involving her behavior is completely fucking useless. Just completely and utterly fucking useless and a waste of fucking time because I personally believe you're dealing with a fucking narcissist, right? And they're never going to own their behavior. They're never going to apologize. They're never going to see things the way that you see. They're never going to have empathy for the people that they're hurting. So to me, there's absolutely no point in conversing with her. And if you go back on my channel, I've said this for the longest time that you know, even for me, myself personally, there's like people will be like, oh, well, why don't you panel up with her? Why? What the fuck is that going to do for me? You know, yeah, maybe it'll get me some fucking views, but like nothing's going to get resolved, in my opinion, with her because I have my opinion about her from my observations of her, right? So there's nothing she could say to me that's going to change that. There's absolutely nothing that I could say. The thing that would convince me would be changed behavior, but that hasn't happened in 4 years. So what is she going to say to me that's going to change my mind? There's no words that could come. Hey, Jeff, you know what I'm saying? There's no words that are going to come out of her mouth that are going to change my mind. So it's either going to end up in a screaming match, okay? Or it's going to end up in her, you know, trying to somehow manipulate me, which I'm not going to give her the opportunity to do, you know? So to me, in my opinion, it's a completely pointless and a waste of time because you're never going to get the truth out of her. And that's why I was like, I was kind of frustrated watching him because I'm like, dude, you're never going to get the fucking truth out of this woman. Like you're just not. And I can't fault him in some sense because he's new to her, right? And he hasn't seen the whole history. And it's impossible to see the whole history that we've seen in this community, you know, from her, you know, harassing the Chris Watts family to potty mouth mama to just random people in the drama community and all the fights she's had with, you know, different various creators. And it's impossible to see all that stuff, you know? So I don't blame him in that sense. But I was just kind of shocked when he did finally, you know, end up having this conversation with her, was like, he kind of folded like a house of cards. I was just like, what the fuck? Like and he made excuses afterwards. And I understand what he's saying. He's like trying to say that, you know, if he goes in there fighting, he's not going to get anything out of her. And it's just like, and I get that. How are you going to have a conversation with somebody, right? If you start fighting with that person and then it just leads to a shit show that ultimately, you know, either you're going to get kicked off the panel. So I understand he went in there with like the calmness and wanting to talk, right? But to me, the conversation, and I asked him this in his chat, you know, specifically because I knew I wanted to eventually discuss this. So I asked him in his chat, do you feel that anything came out of the conversation? And then I kept trying to ask him, but they weren't reading my comments. What are your expectations out of a conversation with her? Like, what do you think you're going to get out of a conversation with her? What are you looking for? And he never answered that. So he answered the first question. I asked him, like, you know, do you think that was a productive conversation, basically? And he said yes. I disagree with him on that because he didn't there's a difference between arguing and being assertive, you know? Um and I just feel like he was way too agreeable with her, right? And we all know, like, when you're in an echo chamber and there's no difference of opinion, you're not going to get as much information, right? If you're just agreeing with everything that the person's saying, you need to, go back and forth. There needs to be back and forth. There was just a lot of her just talking like she always does, because she always has to dominate the conversation no matter who it's with. And then it turns into, him just like, oh, I understand. I agree. How is that productive? That's what I want to know. How is that a productive conversation? He didn't confront her on any of the things really that he's been talking about on his channel for the last 4 months. Here's my thing, right? Do I believe she's a scammer? No, I don't believe that she's like illegally scamming people. I believe her type of scamming is a different type of scamming, right? It's the type where it's like, it's emotional manipulation scamming. That's what she does, in my opinion. Okay. She, for all intents and purposes, might be being lied to, right? I'll give her the benefit of the doubt by Marvan's family, right? She could be lied to by them, and they're telling her that they're getting an attorney and they're not. But in past situations, we have seen that she's also the one that adds lies. She will add things sometimes that didn't happen, or things that weren't actually said, or she'll twist something that was said to her. So, I don't know. I don't know where I stand with that, but I do believe she's emotionally, and she does. And if you watch the Cash Gernon thing that I suggested last night, you'll see that at the very end, she emotionally manipulates people into giving money. And does she donate money? Yes, she does. And people just get so blinded by that. They're like, oh my God, she's so charitable. But there's plenty of narcissistic, evil people that were charitable. And they do that for a reason. They do it mainly for their image. It's mainly to make themselves look like they're these really giving, charitable people. And the other reason is to kind of distract away from all the other stuff that they're doing, which is, she made money off this case, and she can't deny that. She made a shit ton of money off this guy. And, she did get confronted with that this week, and she had to admit it because she showed her paycheck. And she's like, oh, that's from both channels. No, it's not. That's bullshit. That's not from both channels, because you can have multiple monetized channels, right? But why would you do that? Why would you make multiple monetized channels on the same account? Those two channels are totally separate. So the 18,000 we were seeing was only for her main channel. We don't even know what she made off her other channel. We have no idea. Those two channels, I guarantee you, are not connected on the same AdSense account. I will fucking guarantee it. One of them's either in her husband's name, or you have to remember, okay, when she registered, and she's probably registered on AdSense with a EIN number, right? Instead of a social security number like I would use, right? Because she has an LLC. She has Molly Golightly Life Coaching LLC. She has two LLCs. Just saw a video the other day. So she has one called Molly Golightly Artistry that's registered in Jersey. And by the way, FYI, if you're not fucking operating in the state that your business license is null and void. You're not in Jersey anymore. So your business license is completely null and void. You need one in the state that you live in. Just saying. But she's operating under that. So she could have one channel under her business, and the other channel could be under her, regular name. Like that's what Laura does. Laura has one of her channels that's monetized as in a business. One of them is on a social security number. Okay. Because when you register a business, you get an EIN number from the government, federal income tax, for income tax purposes. And so you could use that on AdSense, And so there's no doubt in my mind that that's what she did, because it just makes sense, right? Because if the one channel, you're not going to have a backup channel. Okay. Let's just think about this. If they're all connected on the same account, on the same AdSense account, right? Your main channel, you make a backup channel, right? And you put that on the same AdSense account as your main channel, then there's no point of having a backup channel The whole point of having that backup channel is it's a place where you could kind of be a little more loose and not follow the rules as strictly, so that if you get struck there, right, that's where you do your drama and all your bullshit. You get struck there, you don't give a shit about it. It's a toss away channel. Most people, I mean, I wouldn't monetize my backup channel. Why risk it? So if she loses that channel, and that's the whole reason she has that channel, so she could carry out her fucking bullshit, right? She's not going to risk it if it was connected to the same AdSense account that her main channel was, because if you get one AdSense account, and if that account gets struck and you lose your channel, then you lose every channel that's connected to that AdSense account, not just the main channel, but any channel that you have connected to that AdSense account. So that's why you'll see certain people don't monetize their backup channels or their drama channels, because they don't want to risk losing, that. But because she has a business, I believe that she uses the business to operate under, one channel, and then the other channels on her just regular social security number, or maybe even her husband's, who knows. So, anyway, I don't even know why the fuck I was talking about that, but, I know why, because, that 18,000, that number that we saw, that was only for her main channel, in my opinion. And she lied and said that it was for 2 channels. She has 2 monetized channels. But in my opinion, I do not think that both of those channels are on the same AdSense account. And I could be wrong, but I really don't think I am, because again, there's no purpose of having a backup channel like that and using it the way she does if you're going to put it on the same AdSense account as your main channel. It just doesn't even fucking make sense, because at the end of the day, if you violate, and that's what Laura does, and I know this for a fact, if you violate the rules, the terms of service on the one account and you lose it, you're going to lose both channels. So I just don't believe her. I just, so that's $18,000 just on that one channel that she was talking on. Now, we don't know what she made on AdSense. We don't know, not AdSense, PayPal, her Patreon, and then the other channels. So you've got 3 more sources of income, that she's making money from, which is fine, dude. That's fine. It's the way that you're making the money there. It's the fucking way that you're emotionally manipulating people and using these cases. And she doesn't see the difference, like the way that Gray Hughes makes money, right, off his channel, or Judy Ron makes money off his channel, and the way that she's making money off of these cases. It's completely different. Or the way that AWP is making money off the case. Is AWP profiting from this case? Yes, they are. They have to eat. They have to feed their families. Okay. But I'm okay with that, because they're producing something. They're doing something for that money. That's why I support their channel. I wouldn't support her channel, because they've done nothing. She's done absolutely nothing. No matter how much she tries to convince everybody and manipulate everybody into thinking that she's actually accomplished something, she's accomplished absolutely nothing in any of the fucking cases that she's covered, except for just sensationalistic bullshit and harassment. That's all she's really done, And if you want to pay her for that, that's your decision. I'm fucking certainly not paying her for that. They have, Mega Master, they have a 501c3. Yeah, exactly. I said that part. They're a nonprofit organization. But they do have to pay their families and shit. That's why they all have their own channels. You know what I'm saying? They have to make money. And I'm okay with that, because I know that the bulk of that money is being used for the good. It's being used to help more people, more families, solve more cases, get more answers. And so I am 100% supportive of that. I can't say a bad thing about what they do. But for her, when you're just blatantly tragedy pimping, ambulance chasing, and just using these cases the way you do, and these tragedies and these people, it's disgusting. And so back to the whole scamming thing with the Unirock thing, do I believe that she scammed per se? I don't know, and I don't think they'll ever find that out, because it looks that way, because it's very easy to just show a receipt. We learned this all from the whole St. Jude's thing. I don't want to bring that whole fucking bullshit up again, but I'm just saying, right? I knew Diane for years. before the St. Jude things happen. And I've known Diane to always jump to her own defense. If somebody accused Diane of anything, I mean, even if it was something minor and minute, she would jump up on a live stream, no matter what time of day it was, and start screaming her head off to defend herself. And then all of a sudden now you're being accused of something huge, right? And you run away and you don't want to address it, and you keep telling us you're going to show things, but you never do. Automatically, I thought she was guilty. Something's up here. I don't know exactly what it is, but she's hiding something, and that's what I don't get. It's very easy to show a receipt of something. You could always redact information and block out shit. So what is holding these people back from blocking and redacting things, or showing some type of proof? Because if you're that upset, right, that you're being accused of being a scammer, that you can't sleep, you would think, well, you know what? I could easily prove this. So let me just do that and get these people off my back so I could, move on and do what I have to do. But these people aren't doing that, and I really do have to question why this guy Vaughn's, biological parents are spending so much time on social media the way that they are. It's weird. It's just weird to me. Why even go to social media to begin with, but we might never find out what the truth is in that whole situation. See, now if I believe that if people like Molly Golightly didn't harass Dre, she would have stayed online giving us updates. But because you fucking continuously harassed her, you chased her offline, and now nobody knows what the fuck is going on with that situation. Not that it's our fucking business anyway, but I'm just saying. It's people's business when you start, saying that you're collecting money for whatever, and then all of a sudden, those things don't happen. Then it becomes people's business, unfortunately. And then you can't get mad. You can't blame Katie. That was one of the things that, he kind of set up on her panel and allowed her to sit there and do her crying thing. How many times? Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen this situation before, okay? She gets confronted with her bullshit behavior, right? Something shady or something fucked up that she did. And she starts crying. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that more than 5 times on here. Because I've seen it multiple times. I couldn't even keep count how many times I've seen her do this. The same exact thing. I mean, I go back to one of the, strongest ones that are in my personal memory is when she was being accused of stealing from the stripper, and she always leaves this part out. Okay. It's not so much that she stole from the stripper that I personally have a problem with, because I do take into account that she was shit-faced that night and drunk and on God knows what else, right? And it could have been an accident. My problem is the way that she dragged an innocent person for fucking over a year, well over a year, and made the whole entire internet believe that this person was some dirtbag that came to see her and set her up. That was her words. She was set up to make it look like she was stealing by this person, okay? And she dragged the shit out of this person. And I just have to correct this because so many people I see saying this. Tiffany, who was with her, she never lost a job over this. I know it sounds better. I know it does. I mean, trust me, I would love to, stick it to her like that and say, yeah, she made her lose her job. But that's not what happened. She didn't lose her job. So whoever put that out, I mean, that's just not true. She didn't lose her job. Her concern was that at the time she was working, she was in the military, she was still active duty military. And her concern was that if she went, she was, looking to be promoted at that time. And that if she was going to be promoted, they would have looked her up, obviously, because that's what they do in the military. Anytime you move up in a rank or whatever, they have to do like background checks on you and everything. If you're looking to get more, clearance, security clearance. And so she was obviously concerned that whatever it was that she was going for to move up, that she wasn't going to pass through the security clearance because now she has this bullshit arrest on her record. She never actually lost her job over that. She's also disabled and has, medical issues, but she never lost her job because of that situation. She just was worried about potentially not getting further in her career because of that situation, which is totally understandable. So I saw a lot of ones in the chat there. So a lot of us have seen this whole crying thing that she does, okay? Where she's the martyr slash victim, I help people, I get so much money, and it's like, listen, you do give money, and nobody could argue that. You do. You give money. But I just don't think that your intentions when you're giving that money are pure. I think that if you wanted to give the money, you should just give it. And, you don't have to tell everybody. I think you use it for bragging rights when you give to, again, all image related. Make yourself look charitable, like you're this good person. Because look, I donate. I'm a good person. I volunteer at church. I'm a good person. It's one of those situations. Just because you do something good, that doesn't mean you're a good person overall. Or you're not capable of doing shitty things. But I also think there's other intents to it. If people see you donating, they're going to be, just think about this. We've all seen this, right? And it used to happen in Diane's chat a lot. One person would take that money and super chat. And then what does it do? Right? When one person will super chat, it'll kind of start like a train where, more than one person's going to super chat. They see one person. I see it all the time on YouTube. One person gives a super chat, and then all of a sudden you see 5 more people behind them giving super chats, right? So if she, right, is super chatting, quote unquote, donating to people, it's going to make more people inclined to donate to her because they're like, oh, she's doing good with her money. Meanwhile, this is the crazy part. Right in front of these same people's eyes, she's showing you what she's doing with her money. She's buying cars that she doesn't need, bags that she doesn't need, just getting Botox, and spending excessive amounts of money on things that like normal people, like, going on a vacation for 6 days, sitting in a really expensive hotel, just eating and talking shit on the internet. What was the need for that? You know what I'm saying? So she's like totally, what's the word? Like blowing the money, you know what I'm saying? On things that are just completely unimportant, and then she'll sit there and insult everybody. I'm so broke. Bitch, you don't know what broke is. All right. How insulting. And these people keep giving her money. So I do believe, by her making it like she's this social justice warrior, and emotionally manipulating people the way that she does, it does make people more inclined to make her money. At the end of the day, dude, that's what she's here for. And she fucking admits it. She admits that she's here. She admits that if her channel lost monetization, she'd be gone. I don't know if I 100% believe that, because I do think, and I personally feel that attention and money are hand in hand with her. Either one. If she's getting paid in attention, that's almost as good as making money to her. The money is a bonus. I think the attention is honestly her main motive. I think the attention, the narcissistic supply is a little bit more important than the money to her. But they're both important. They're both important to her, because at the end of the day, she really doesn't need the money. We've seen her long before she was making this amount of money on YouTube. And she was always spending her money it was her husband's money extravagantly, and, buying really expensive purses and stuff. So she doesn't need the money necessarily. But, like for me, I personally wouldn't give that person any more money. Listen, if you could afford a $2,000 bag, I don't need to fucking give you any money. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather give it to somebody who can't pay their fucking rent. Just saying. What are you having? I'm a good, credible person. Here's proof. Exactly. She's a female Howard Stern. She's worse than Howard Stern. Way worse. But she's definitely an attention hungry, money hungry person. And so I do think she scams in the sense that she's emotionally scamming people. She emotionally manipulates people. And that's how she makes her money. She uses people's, to me, that is a scam. You're using people's tragedies to gain from it, and you don't care. You don't care about the consequences or how it makes people feel. You just are worried about gaining. That's it. You're in it for the money, 100%. I mean, I've told this story a million times on here, but I'll say it again. I was one of the first people that said to Frank Rusek, who is Shanann Watts' brother, be careful of that woman. Be careful of her, because she seems like she's just out for money and fame and not really so concerned about your family the way she's making it out to be. And I was right. You know, he didn't listen to me because, of course, why would he? He doesn't, who the fuck am I? But I wish he did, back then. I wish he did, because it would have saved him a lot of embarrassment, headaches, trouble, at least from one person. He got a lot of shit from a lot of people, but at least from her. Hey, Angel, if a person has to or does overly tell you how good they are and what good they do, ask yourself why. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. You know how she's always telling these stories? Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many different versions of the same story I heard, where she's like, oh, I was at the grocery store and I picked up this person's grocery bill, or I was at a restaurant and I picked up their tab at the restaurant. Dude, like, if you just do those things, just do them. Why do you have to tell everybody about them? You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Nobody needs to know. You know how many times I've done something similar? Maybe not somebody's whole grocery bill, but like just yesterday, I was in freaking, 7-Eleven. The girl's card wasn't working in front of me. And I'm like, she's buying a coffee. I'm like, put it on my thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's only $2 or so. But like, I don't, and I'm only telling you guys just because it just happened yesterday. But it happens to me all the time. Things like that, small little things like that. And I don't go around telling people about it every time it happens, because it's not that big of a fucking deal to me, and because I'm not doing it because I want people to know. I'm doing it because there's been times in my life where my card's gotten declined, or I didn't have enough money to fucking pay for my coffee, or I just simply left my card at home and somebody helped me out at the register. So I do it to pay it forward, because other people have helped me out in my time of need. She doesn't do it for that reason. She does it for the bragging rights, constantly. I mean, oh, we took in refugees and we did this. Dude, just do the things and stop telling everybody about it. You don't need to broadcast your good deeds to the world constantly if they're being done for the right reasons. The only reason that she broadcasts it all the time is because it's, part of building this charitable, loving, caring persona that she doesn't naturally have. That's not a natural persona of hers. That's not a natural characteristic, and empathetic. You know how many times I've heard her talk about death in various situations, and she'll say things like, well, life goes on, life goes on. You got to go on. What are you going to do? And I'm like, wow, dude, really? Life goes on? Is that how you look at death? Because I don't look at it like that, dude. Life never goes on when you lose somebody. It goes on because it has to, but emotionally, it doesn't go on. You're always going to have pain in your heart. You're always going to have moments throughout years. I don't care if it's 10, 20 years later. You're always going to have moments of weakness where your heart hurts and aches and yearns for that person. What do you mean life goes on? It does, but it doesn't at the same time. I mean, you have to live, right? You have to live your life and continue to live your life, especially if you have other people depending on you. But that doesn't make it hurt any less. You know what I'm saying? Like, for her to say that, I've heard her say that several times. She has no compassion for people that are grieving. And she makes it very clear. Because if you did, you would never say that. You would never just say to somebody, well, life goes on. You encourage them that you will go on. Your life will, return to some semblance of normalcy at some point in time. But that never goes away. And if you really understood grief, then you would understand that it never goes away. The pain never goes away, ever. The rest of your life, no matter who it is, you're going to be grieving that person. I've heard both her and Laura both say things like that, about grief. And I'm just like, wow, you don't understand it then, do you? And these are both people that lost parents that you would think would understand. Like, I look back now because I have two friends that just lost their moms, okay? And I look back and I'm like, watching what they're going through right now. I have one of those people is very expressive in their grief and feelings and what they're going through. And I'm like, holy shit, like, I know exactly what they're going through. I've been through that. And I can look back now and look at their situation and say, wow, I've come a long way since then. Like I don't, and I'm not saying this to be mean towards them. It's just a fact. Is that like I'm glad I'm not back at that point anymore. I've healed a lot from that point where they're at. But I'm never gonna fully heal. You know, I'm at a point now where I could live my life, and it doesn't consume, I'm not consumed with grief at the way I was, but that doesn't mean that it's over. The grieving's over because it never fucking ends, dude. I still have, waves of it 5 years later. And I know I will 6 years later. And I know I will 10 years later. I had it the other day. I was at my son's hockey game and he's scoring goals and I'm just looking at him and I'm like, God, I just got that fucking like proud parent feeling. Like I was like, look at this fucking kid. And the first thing my mind goes to is, man, I wish my mom was here to fucking see this. Like, and I seriously had to choke back tears, because I didn't want to look crazy that I'm just like outburst crying, while I'm watching a hockey game. But I had to choke back the tears, man. Bad. It was hard. You're always going to have those moments. It doesn't matter. It never goes away. It never goes away, ever. Yeah, she's an empath, my ass. I was like, God, I just wish she was here. Just for 1 second, just to see this. But I have to deal with it, I have to deal with that she's not here physically, in the same way that I'm used to her being here my whole life. I know she's still with me, but she's not physically here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I miss. I miss her physical presence here. And it's like, I don't know. These people just clearly have no fucking empathy for that. None. Zero. I have a friend who lost her husband 2 weeks ago. I heard for her, not because I've lost a husband, because I know her life has changed forever. It has changed forever. It'll never go back to normal. I remember my husband saying it, and I think I said it, I talked about this in one of my grief series. Like he was telling me about something that he was talking to somebody, and he's like, Leanna's never going to be the same, after losing her mom. And I'm like, that made me really sad to know that he knew that, that like, and he's right. He's right. I'm never going to be the same. I'm just never going to be the same. But have I gotten better since then? Yeah, I have, even since he said that. But I still have my moments, dude. And it's always in the back of my mind, never goes away. I think of my mom every morning, every day. There's never a day that goes by that I don't think about her, in some capacity. Like there's just never a day that goes by that I don't think about her. It's just, I've gotten unfortunately used to thinking about her rather than, actually talking to her. That's just how it is. Just like with anything else, human beings, we're amazing because we can adapt to a lot of different situations that we're put into, sometimes extremely quickly, but you have to adapt to it. But it doesn't mean that the pain goes away. Ever notice how she throws out the worst when Justin is in there? Justine looks like he choked on a fly. He's, you know what, Kate, I really did. I wanted to give him a pass for like the longest time and really believe that he was like one of these people that just fucking gets blinded by her. There's a lot of people out there that I respect that had friendships with her. And trust me, at the time when they were friends with her, I used to be like, how the fuck does this person not see through this woman? Because I've always said that. But, some people I do think it's the same thing that I feel with Laura sometimes, I'm like, how do these people not fucking see who Laura is, dude? Like, how? How do you not fucking see it? But I think there's various things going on there. I think some people get attracted to people like that because they're fixers and they feel like they could help them. You know what I'm saying? And then there's all different reasons that people get attracted to these types of personalities, but I really thought he was maybe one of those just like naive people at first for a while. But now, after seeing him in action, I guess, with her and some of the shit that like I can see he cringes. He does cringe sometimes. I could see that. But more often than not, he ends up defending her. And it makes me wonder, what kind of person is he? Is he using her, or does he like genuinely respect her? Because to be quite honest with you, I'd rather hear that he's using her and doesn't genuinely respect her, but I think he does. I actually think he does. You eat so much to somebody because they be vulnerable. Oh, thank you, Kate. The thought never goes away. You just have to adapt and live for your family, children, wife, husband. Exactly, Angel. It's exactly what it is. Oh, Scaramouche, I talked about that earlier. That was really fucking disturbing. Really disturbing. Um, just not necessary. All right, so I wanted to play this. I forgot I had it pulled up and I didn't play it. Just listen to this, dude. Now, mind you, I don't know. I haven't looked at Katie's YouTube in her Facebook page in a while. Okay. But listen to the fucking projection in this video. And now, mind you guys, I'm going to have to stop it because I know she'll fucking strike. She's been, from what I hear, going on a striking spree on people. Okay. But just listen to this and listen to her words in this. And it's just like, I don't know that Katie's been talking about her. I know that on YouTube she hasn't been, because she doesn't post anything about her on YouTube, right? And so Katie does a lot of her live feeds now on Facebook. And so she could potentially be discussing her there, but I still haven't seen that. And so let me look, actually. I'm actually going to take a look real quick. I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to go on Katie's page. Oh my God, I have such a headache, man, for the last couple of days. Let me go on her page and just see like her more recent posts and what she's talking about. Okay, so this is about some reality show. Another thing about the same person, reality show. Christine Brown, don't know who that is. Oh shit, I just accidentally clicked off her page. Hold on. All right, so let's go. Let's see who else she's got here. 16 hours ago. This is, I don't even know what this is about. Conversion therapy is abuse. Okay. The Duggars, Lori Vallow, Memphis District Attorney, Memphis Police, Mary Can't Stop Throwing Shade at Christine. So that's another reality thing. All right. That's all from like the last 24 hours. You got, I don't know what this is, some type of meme. Britney Spears, something hydrocephalus, which is some type of, I don't know, some kind of disorder, right? Facebook, what's this? My page is created. This is about her page. And I'm not defending her. Kiwi Farms. Okay, so she shared, oh, I don't know what that is. Kiwi Farms, isn't that like a dark web type of thing? Rosewater, I looked, KJ has not spoken for almost a month. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Narcissistic spiritual leaders, that's not about her for certain. All right, so yeah. So, all right, I'm going to take Rosewater's word for it, because I know if she says she looked. And I've looked, I haven't looked in the last few days, but I know I looked like a week or two ago, and I hadn't seen one post about MGL. Okay. Oh, I don't know, Valentina. I have no idea. And if anybody's reporting her to the school, please don't do that. Don't contact her child's school. It's stupid. I hope not. To be quite honest with you, don't do that. Don't get her kid involved, But all right, so this video was made 13 hours ago, and I just want you guys to hear it. I want you guys to hear it. Hold on. My thing is going to start fucking up now because I don't know what just happened here, but we'll play it for as long as we can. All right. Hold on. Just fast forwarding. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing because I don't know if I could stand listening to her that long. But, oh, okay. So she's doing this weird thing.
Oh, thank you, Touched by Design. Thank you.
This is weird.
Katie.
Like,
Katie, are you here? Katie?
like, I don't know why she's calling her like Katie's a dog. It's kind of weird. And again, I don't see that Katie's been even discussing her. And like Rosewater just said, for at least a month, dude, right? That's a pretty good amount of time. Now, people out there, and I just have to point this out, okay? There's people out there making videos that are like, oh, Katie's obsessed with people. She obsesses with people. And you're going to hear her say this. I only watched like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of this. So, but you're going to hear her say this. She's obsessed with people, right? The same people who obsess over other people are saying that she's obsessed with people. The same people, this woman right here that we're looking at, obsessed over a girl that accused Nick Carter of R. Okay. She obsessed over me. She obsessed over who else? Trying to think. I mean, there's been so many people, right, in her path that she's obsessed over. The laundries. She obsessed over them. She obsessed over the Watts case. She obsessed over, I mean, and by obsessed, by their own definition, right? Obsession is somebody who talks about the same thing over and over again on YouTube. So by her own definition, she's also obsessive with certain people and certain things. So I'll see people out there being like, well, Katie gets obsessed with these things, you know? Well, so does everybody else on here, dude. You know, I mean, honestly, she's no different. There's a lot of people here that cover the same person or the same content for months, even years at a time. You know, does that mean they're obsessed? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? We all kind of have, everybody here does that. I mean, so why is it okay for one person to do, but not the other person? I just like, I don't get it. I hate that. I fucking hate the obsession bullshit, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Katie?
Like, this is fucking weird, dude.
You there?
Hold on. I'm going to speed her.
Katie?
Hold on.
This is for Katie.
I don't know what's going on with my, did you guys hear it?
Katie.
Yeah, Katie is her scapegoat. Just like Michelle is her distraction. Right now, and she does this a lot, and this is another reason I was getting frustrated with Rock a lot, or whatever, you know, Uni Rock, when he went up on her panels, because this is a normal tactic of hers, is that when the pressure is being put on her by somebody, right, like the accusations, she will do something dramatic or drastic to, you know, distract away from that. And she does it all the fucking time, dude. Like, and again, I go back to the whole like Nola arrest thing, because, you know, she went live that night, and, you know, the theatrics and the crying and the dramatics to distract away from the whole thing. Then once I mean, she literally denied it down till like she absolutely couldn't fucking deny it. I mean, they had to go so far as to get the actual body cam footage of her to show it. And then even when she knew that they had the body cam footage, she still wouldn't admit it. And it took them actually playing it down to that last second while she's watching Diane's live and reacting to it live, that she finally fucking admitted it, when she absolutely was backed so far into a fucking corner that she was like starting to take on the shape of the fucking corner. Then all of a sudden she's like, it was me. And then the theatrics started. Okay. But we've seen her do this kind of diversion, distraction thing, you know, so that, and she does it even in conversations, right? When people confront her in conversations, she'll like change the subject rapidly to try to get them off, knock them off. And I can't tell you how many times it was so frustrating, because she would go up on panel with Diane and Wendy and them, and or just whoever, and she'd be having discussions, and she always manages to get them out of their original issue, right? Whatever the original issue was that they were confronting her with, she always leads them away from that, because she'll either just completely change the subject and go off topic and start just on this tangent about things that don't even have anything to do with anything. You know, it's a common distraction diversion tactic of hers, you know. So Katie's her scapegoat right now. And listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Katie Joy. I don't really care for her either. I don't watch her. I'm just saying they're both pretty much as bad when it comes to this. But this is weird. I will say, this is fucking weird.
Katie?
This is the same woman who's always saying people are obsessing over her, right? This is a person that's not bothering you, not talking about. Sorry, my fucking thing keeps muting.
Catherine? I just have to say that.
Oh,
honestly,
big time, Tamara.
I think that the way that you have been coming after me and the way that you have been attacking me.
Okay, again, Katie has not even come after her or attacked her or even so much as written a fucking post or anything about her. So I'm very confused what she's talking about here.
And using people to come after me and my channel is very threatening. And I feel at this point that I feel very unsafe. And I think I'm going to have to get a restraining order against you.
Okay. This is like, I watched like up to here, maybe a little bit past this. And I was just like, excuse me. This is the same woman, okay, who stood outside of somebody's house and was saying things like, I'll burn it down, right? This is the same woman that keeps basically trying to say she's going to smoke these people out of their house, right? When she was entitled to absolutely nothing as far as these people went, right? She literally goes and stands outside of people's jobs, people's houses. She flies, she spends money, buys plane tickets, and fucking travels to these people's fucking homes. Okay? She's now saying that she feels threatened. Mrs. Tough Guy over here, right? Who's like, oh, everybody backs down to me. I mean, if you're seriously trying to play this up, girl, then you should probably delete some of your fucking videos, because, you know, you can't sit there talking like a tough guy all the time and saying that everybody backs down to you and then try to pull some shit like this, like you guys are going to see right here.
Just for my own protection. I'm just saying that I feel at this point, I don't feel safe.
Girl, you know what's not safe? Your fucking eyebrows, dude. What's going on there? Why do you look like you're constantly surprised? Who did that to your face? Like, that's not even a shape. That's close to fucking in style or attractive, but like now you put so much Botox in them that it literally looks like you're fucking surprised all the time, or you're like a walking McDonald's advertisement.
I mean, is it safe to say? Do you guys feel like my safety is in jeopardy because of her? I mean, she's harmed so many others.
Okay. Does anybody here know? Sorry, my mic muted. Does anybody know Katie has ever had somebody swatted, had other authorities called on them, right? Physically threatened anybody? Does anybody know of anything? Because I've never heard of her harming people in that way, where you would actually fear for your safety type of way. Have I heard of her possibly defaming people? Yes, but hello. Hello. I mean, this isn't ridiculous.
So you do think it's a good idea? You think I should? That she's obsessed with me? Yeah, it's making me feel very uncomfortable and very unsafe in my home. Yeah, I don't trust her either.
No, you see that paranoia? That paranoia is from something that you either snorted or something, okay? This paranoia, again, from a person who hasn't so much as even mentioned your name in the last month. Why are you suddenly feeling unsafe right now? Make it make sense.
All these people that are saying yes. Wow, it's a lot of people. You just feel like I need a restraining order?
Right, because you're not stupid. You know that you could make money off of all the haters, her haters, and she does have quite a large audience of haters, right? Katie haters out there. So you're This is really funny, right? Because she's doing exactly what she's accused all of us of doing. She's doing the same thing to Katie, what she's accused all of us of doing to her. You know, she's like, oh, you made your channel off of me. You built your channel off of me. You made money off of me. But she's doing the same thing with Katie.
Wow. Yeah. It's kind of like an unhealthy obsession. Yeah. It's gone too far.
So she's now accusing Katie of being unhealthily obsessed with her. When we could all see that it's quite the opposite. You know, again, I mean, all you have to do is go to the Without a Crystal Ball page on Facebook, and you'll see that she hasn't mentioned this woman at all in any capacity.
Yeah, it's too far. This has gone too far. I see the way that she obsesses over other people. I think
now that, again, this woman who obsesses over a lot of other people is now accusing her of obsessing over other people. And I think this is where I watched up to before.
that has gone too far. I think that
because I couldn't stop
Wow.
laughing.
Yeah, I think I need to get a restraining order against her. Wow.
All right, dude. These people with these fucking restraining orders, like, do you realize that somebody has to either threaten? Sorry, you've had to have some type of confrontation with them at some point in time to actually get a restraining order against them. You can't just get a restraining order because you say you're scared of somebody. That's not how it works.
I think that if anybody else feels threatened by her, that they should also seek a restraining order as well.
Oh my God, she's so
Wow.
stupid.
My nerves, yeah, she makes me very, very uncomfortable. You're scared for me?
Is this an act? Like, I what is going on here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if she's mentally unstable.
A mentally unstable person, right, who admittedly takes medication because of her mental issues, is now questioning if somebody else is mentally unstable. That's rich.
You think Miss Letitia should get one as well?
Like, listen, you could say what you want about Katie. I'll say this. She's not a stupid woman, okay? She does her homework. She does her research. She knows that this is all bullshit. Nobody could get a restraining order against her, especially when she's not doing anything. But she hasn't physically threatened anybody in any way. And that's what a restraining order is. It's if somebody either has made a clear physical threat to your, to harm you, or if they have harmed you in the past physically. So that's only really two ways you could get a restraining order against somebody, or if they're, incessantly stalking you, and invading your life, your personal life, which she's done none of those things. So, I mean, this just sounds ridiculous, right? You would be filing a false report at this point, especially when there's more than enough proof to show that she's the one obsessing over Katie.
I mean, the way that she goes after Todd Crisley and 7M, I don't know. It just seems like I'm the focus of her every little thought. You think I should
make that one make sense, guys? The way she goes after Todd Crisley. So if she's so busy obsessing over Todd Crisley, whoever the fuck that is, I don't even know who that is, then you would think that she wouldn't even have time to focus on this fucking idiot.
Get a restraining order because she makes me feel very.
This is weird, dude.
She made a call to action for refunds. Yeah, I mean, because of her crazy mindset, she made people believe that Justin and I were fraudsters, and
Sorry, this is all part of the cover up. This is all part of the. This isn't really even about Katie so much as it is that she feels at this point in time that she, because of the way Rock a lot, right, behaved on her panel and talked to her, that she got him to believe that it's all Katie's fault. It's all Katie's fault because he, identified with, Katie issues in the past, right? So now she's going to ride that wave that it was all Katie's fault.
Put one woman in the hospital She's created havoc on my life, and it's all because of lies that I don't know what she's capable of. Well, the thing is with
the thing is always the thing is
Miss Letitia, we have to make sure that Miss Letitia gets well enough in the hospital before she can seek a restraining order.
There's absolutely nothing that Letitia or any of these idiots can do about this. Nothing.
I don't know. 7M has an active
She asked for a fucking refund. That's all she did. She asked for a fucking refund. And then she explained why she asked for a refund. And now this crazy fuck is turning it into something that it's just not. It's just not.
Lawsuit against her and Todd Chrisley, things like that. I mean, she's been sued several times. You think a couple of restraining orders? I don't think I'm the only person that she's been obsessed with.
She hasn't even mentioned you, girl. You really, I don't know who's misinforming you, but she hasn't even mentioned you. Not even once. Not even fucking once, dude.
Yeah, really crazy. Please check your phone.
All these fucking crazy assholes enabling this bullshit in her chat. These people really need to seek some fucking, like, I don't know, therapy or something, dude. And I hate fucking saying that, but I mean, you can't be serious, right? You can't buy into this. That's all she does, Rosewater, is wreak havoc. Because she's fucking bored. This is a person who has literally no fucking hobbies, admittedly, right? She don't like nature. She don't enjoy taking walks or going outside or being in the outdoors. I mean, literally, this is a person whose fucking hobby is creating chaos, and that's it. Because she has nothing fucking better to do than stuff her mouth and sit up here, you know, doing which. I really hate this fucking laptop. All right. This is a person who does nothing constructive with their time ever. Okay? Ever. I've never seen her do anything constructive with her time. You know, she's never made anything. She's never, you know, done anything really constructive except for go to the fucking spa and construct that whatever the fuck it is that she, you know, listen, Flava, no offense. I don't approve of contacting schools and stuff. Just saying. I don't approve. I mean, it was wrong what she did, but I don't know if it's to the point where, you know, anybody should contact anybody's, you know, school and get the children involved in the school involved. Just saying. But anyway, as I said, this is a person who never does anything, you know, constructive with their time.
You don't think I'm safe? All of you that are covering this story, why do you think that she would attack us just for covering a story for a man that's in a coma? And the thing is Marvon doesn't even know what we're doing.
And the thing is how many times is the thing is on this live? The thing is, yeah, that's right. He doesn't know. And could you imagine, should this man ever wake up from his, you know, situation to wake up to this? Oh my God, this poor guy. To his wife being accused of killing him, his parents being accused of being scam artists. Could you imagine? Has anybody thought about that? Has anybody thought about his kids? Nope. But hey, let's just put the blame on somebody else. She created this situation and is now putting the blame on somebody else. It's sick. It's beyond sick.
Wow. Huh. I didn't know she doxed me. I think that she's been fixated and that she's lied on my name. And I think that she has, I think she's tried very hard to ruin my reputation.
listen, I'm Flava, I understand what you're saying. I just personally don't agree with it. I don't agree with contacting anybody's kids' schools ever. Like ever. In any situation. Even I mean, unless you were sure that somebody was in serious danger, okay? And then maybe, but in this situation, I personally just don't agree with it. I don't think anybody should be contacting anybody. I don't agree with what she did either at all. I mean, but I don't agree with contacting anybody's anything like that. That's just, there's no need for that.
Very scary person.
Sorry, everything muted once again.
I don't know what she wants legally, but she's definitely a very scary person.
I don't agree with that.
I'm going to be careful.
This is how sick
I don't know anything about her husband,
people get on social media. Really.
but I'm pretty sure she knows about my husband. And I don't like to use my husband and his knowledge and his experience.
What? What? Did she just say she doesn't like to use her husband and his knowledge and experience? Is that like, is that real life right here? That's all she does. Oh my God, dude. This is insane. This is insane.
But
what was the purpose of this is what I want to know, because it's almost
Really?
over. It's over in like seconds.
trust your gut. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay.
What the fuck, dude? Anybody want to explain that one? I'm just fucking lost, bro, on that one. I am. What was the purpose of that? Like, I feel like this is she used to do this a lot when her and I were having, issues. It was almost served as a warning of some type, like she's gonna do something or somebody is, because you notice how, somebody accused her recently of saying that she's contacting authorities on Michelle, and she's like, I haven't. I don't tell anybody to. But she does these things, okay? She does these types of lies. This is a perfect example of the kind of fucking emotional manipulation that she uses to prompt other people to do so. She's looking for other people to fuck with Katie, and that's why she's doing this. She's making people believe, I'm so scared. I'm seriously concerned. I don't feel safe in my own house. Yeah, bullshit. This is the same person that's like, oh, you fucking mommy's in a fucking park and fight you, bitch. But all of a sudden she's so scared, right? She's scared for her safety. Come on, dude. For somebody that hasn't even contacted her. See, it just verifies that whatever Katie has said in the past, because we know she's not talking about her, okay? It's the truth, and she seems pretty worried about it. She seems pretty worried. She seems pretty concerned here. B Fergs, I mean, I've sought out therapy. I maybe cried for like 4 or 5 days straight, but I'm all right now. I'm all right. Yeah. I don't know what, about me makes her think that I want to be her friend. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's the fact that I can't stand her, and, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is that in her head makes her think that I want to be friends with her. But, I'm very, very hurt to hear that she doesn't want to be my friend. I can't even talk about it. Thanks for reminding me, B-Fergs. That's a lie too, because she talked about KJ's husband one day. Yeah, Rosewater. She talked about him several times, from what I could see, on the Kool-Aid thing. Well, he is a poser. If MM wanted to be friends with MGL, I would fly to MM and do an intervention. I mean, of everybody here, okay, I think I'm the only person who's made it abundantly clear over the last 4 years that I do not fucking want to be her friend and want nothing to do with her. Except for, she's under the impression that I'm like obsessed with her. I'm not obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with warning people about you because you're just a horrible person. And like I have yet in years to see any type of change, positive change in your behavior. It just, in fact, it keeps getting worse. So it makes me feel even more that I need to warn people about you. People told MGL that KJ's husband takes care of the child while she works. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so even if that's true, who cares? That you think that her husband would be the only other man on the planet that takes care of children while the woman is a breadwinner? Because I'll tell you right now, in my life, growing up, I would say halfway through my childhood, that's exactly what my life was. The roles reversed in my family. My dad's business crashed during the recession, and my mom became the breadwinner in the house, and my dad was the one who had to care for us for a few years when we were young. My mom did it while she was sick too, so she's extra gangsta. But I mean, so what? If that's the case, I know many people where the woman makes more money than the man and the man takes care of the. I mean, your husband's the caretaker and the breadwinner. How does that make you look? Who took care of your kid? A gay nanny? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm just saying that's who raised your kid, right? You didn't. You certainly didn't. You didn't work. I can never understand stay-at-home moms who need nannies. You were a fucking stay-at-home mom who needed a nanny to raise your kid. And then you have the balls to sit here and judge other people who actually raise their fucking kids and live with them and have jobs and need help. Get out of here. She's so out of touch with reality, it's not even funny. And by the way, I again feel really horrible for Princess because, she's been trashing the shit out of him. She had her sister call in, and her sister actually says the thing is too. And it's like, nobody gives a shit what you have to say, let alone what your sister has to say about anything, but okay. The sister that they must have just started talking because when she was down in Florida, the sister avoided her like the plague, even though she was right around the corner from her house. But anyway, yeah, Princess has been sent to the dog house, basically, Suzanne. He's been sent away. He's been sent packing. I don't know if he's staying in one of her houses or whatever, or her husband's houses rather. I don't know. I don't know really exactly what the story is, but she sent him away, and she's, I saw a few clips on here where, she's mad because I guess he told her mother to go fuck herself or something. And, not to be an asshole here, but, look at the daughter. Okay. Usually the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So I can only imagine what the mother said to him that made him say, go fuck yourself. That part's been left out. So nobody knows why he said that, but she's been disparaging him all over her channel, since then. So basically, sharing his personal business. Now, this is a person who is from her real life, who was a best friend to her for years. And look at how she talks about him like that. I would never do that to my best friend. I mean, she's gross. Zanny needed a nanny in her case. Yeah, right? Yeah. She needed a Zanny and a nanny. Oh my God. Yeah. He told their mom to fuck off or something like that. But this poor man, I hope to God she's completely blind to the fact that he has. And she's really shown time and time again that she really has no real understanding of addiction. And I really find it hard to believe that she, Michelle had made a statement on her channel one time saying that, her son who is addicted to heroin was in jail, and that Michelle was happy he was in jail. That is a fucking 1000% common thing for people who have kids who are addicts to feel safer sometimes when their kids are arrested in jail. Now, jail isn't always the answer, obviously, but there's a lot of cases, and she's like, oh, jail doesn't turn anybody around. Absolutely, it fucking does. There's channels out there based on it. Go watch After Prison show. Right there is a perfect example of a person who was actually reformed by his experience in prison. Okay, him and many other people that he has on his channel, a lot of the other people that he's helped along the way. It was a huge wake-up call. It took him going there 8 times or whatever it was, and spending 8 years. I think it was 8 years in the prison, right? But it took him that time. But he's reformed. He got out that last time, and he's like, I am fucking never going back there again. And he turned his life around. So to completely write it off and say that it never happens is just bullshit, because it does happen, and there's proof right here on YouTube. There's proof of it. There's you got his channel, you got what's her name, Jessica Kent, you have Christina Randall. Okay, there was right there 3 people whose lives were turned around because they went to prison, and prison saved them, essentially. Okay, so it's very common for people to feel safer, because she's like, well, I'm an addict. No, dude, you are an addict. Okay, first of all, rehab is expensive. It's crazy. Most addicts can't even afford to go to rehab. Most addicts don't have the money to go to rehab. Okay, because it's extremely expensive. And if you could get somebody in a rehab and get them like a quote unquote scholarship, that's great. But that doesn't always happen in every situation. There are situations where that happens, and somebody will sponsor them and help pay for their rehab. Or, there's programs sometimes, or sometimes people are forced into rehab, through jail, which is also another way that jail could, potentially help an addict. Because sometimes, and that's another thing that she doesn't seem to realize. Sometimes addicts need to hit rock bottom before they make a change. So, going to prison or going to jail can be that rock bottom for some people that'll change their life, make them want to change their lives around. So when Michelle said that, I fully understood what she said. I know somebody in my personal life, okay, that was in the same situation, and when they went to jail, I felt this sense of relief, because I was like, all right, at least I know this person's safe now for a little bit, Meanwhile, I came to find out that there's a lot of, you can die in prison from drugs. You absolutely can. But again, I mean, it depends. There's so many varying circumstances there. It's, what prison are you in, and who are you hanging around, and, who are you surrounding yourself with? But she's like, oh, you want him to go through withdrawals in prison? I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if they give people, drugs to help them go through withdrawals. I'm not really sure how that works once you get into jail, but sometimes that's what it takes to turn somebody's life around. But this fucking idiot, who is just completely out of touch with reality, is sitting here judging her because she said that, making it, trying to make people think she's a bad mother for being happy that her son's in jail. You have no idea what it's like to deal with an addict, clearly, and I'm talking about an addict who's not, this is a person who was supposedly addicted to Xanax, right? And went to recovery. I don't even know if I believe it, but this is a person who's like, whole life is paid for. Her husband, probably put her up in rehab if she actually really went, and she's not even recovered, because she admittedly takes Klonopin. So that's a benzodiazepine too. So you're not really recovered, but you're not, I don't think she hit that, same desperation that a lot of addicts are in, and parents of addicts, and what they have to go through. I watched it with my ex. I spoke to his parents about that, and the nightmare, the sleepless nights that they have to spend worrying, just waiting for that phone call. I mean, I remember when I went to his funeral, and his dad, the first thing he said to me was that he's like, I've been waiting for this phone call. I've been waiting for it for 16 years. I've been waiting for this phone call. Could you imagine? Every day, just waiting for that call to come that his son passed away. And he's like, I actually feel relieved. As fucked up as that sounds, that's what he said to me. And I totally understood what he meant, because I was like, dude, that worrying, that constant worrying every day, it is a relief at a certain point in time, especially when you've exhausted every possibility trying to help the person. You can't fucking force somebody. We all know this, okay? You can't force somebody to get clean. You just can't do it. You know, I'm sure Michelle's done everything she can to try to help her son. And to fucking judge her on that, you're a piece of shit. Who are you talking about? I've been listening to him and he's awfully self-absorbed and stuck up, and he patronizes the hell out of his friends who have less than him. Who's that, Sarah? Her kid and his friend racked up the credit card charges. End of. Yeah, it's pretty funny that we haven't heard about that. Or at least I don't think. I don't watch her. I only see what's... So what I'm saying, Angel, you know, you don't know what it's like. Thank God. Thank your lucky stars that, you know, you don't know what it's like to be a parent of an addict. And like, then she sits there blaming the parents. Oh, well, he must have became an addict because of you. You know, like, dude, listen, my ex, he had a great relationship with both of his parents. Okay. His mom and his dad, they fully supportive. His mom and him were like best friends. Okay. So it's, you know, his mom never used drugs or did anything in front of him. And to blame the parent, that's just not the case. He grew up in a good home. He had good, loving parents who were active and involved in his life that he had close relationships with. You know, he just fell into the wrong crowd. Sometimes that's all it is, you know, and got addicted, and that's it. And, you know, and she should know that if she was an addict. She should know that that's, you know, nobody intends to be an addict. You know, nobody goes out there intending to be an addict. It happens. You know, yeah. Are they responsible for touching the drugs for the first time, second time, third time? Sure. But nobody intends for that. You don't think about that, you know, until it's too late, usually. How can you say it's not good to contact the school? She literally went and read a letter from a girl who has low self-esteem for all to hear and said the girl's name. Can you imagine that poor girl? Why? Because I just personally wouldn't do it. That's why. I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I'm not going to contact the school. That's all. You know, I don't. I mean, I think it's fucking absolutely horrible what she did, and I'll call her ass out on here. But I'm not going to go as far as contacting the school because I don't think her son should have to pay for that. Ed, here's the other thing, Irish Angel. You clearly don't have much experience with her. Okay. A lot of the shit she does is fabricated or exaggerated. And who even knows if that's even a real fucking letter? Just being quite honest. That's why, too. I'm just being honest. It's disgusting what she did. I fully agree with that. But I personally I would never contact the school. That's just me. You know, that's just me. But that at the same time, that's the risk she takes when she fucking pulls shit like that on the internet. So, and I don't feel bad for her. You know, I feel bad for her kid, and I feel bad because that's his mother, and that's what his mother chose to do with something that he handed to her, you know, in confidence and privacy of their own home. He has no privacy, that kid, and I really do feel for him in that situation. And the girl, I feel for the girl too. I just personally, I wouldn't contact the school over it. That's just me. You know, I could disagree with something without having to take drastic measures about it. I don't know the girl. I don't know this, you know, enough to feel comfortable doing that. I don't even see what it's going to do, to be quite honest with you. I really don't. I hope that little girl would never have found out. Now the school's been told the little girl will most likely find out. Thank you, KB Bells. Thank you for being consistent and putting out her own words and videos to show her for what she is. Thank you, KB Bells. Like, I don't see, I just personally don't see what contacting the school is going to do in this situation, except for just give her more fuel to act like a victim, to be quite honest with you, to act like a victim. I personally am just not against, I'm against going real life in any way like that. So her not to be allowed to do it. But Irish Angel, in all reality, how's the school going to control and police her? You know what I'm saying? It's not against the law for her to do that. Is it ethical? No. Is it morally right for her to do that? No. But it's not against the law to read a letter from somebody on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So how in God's name can the school police her for doing that? There's nothing they could do about it. That it's not illegal what she did. It's just stupid what she did. It's irresponsible what she did. But the school's not going to police her and make sure she didn't do that. MGL's son knows her well enough. He had to have known she'd share it because she shares everything. Yeah, there you go, Beefers. I mean, I'll be honest with you. At his age, I didn't tell my mom a lot of shit because my mom had a big mouth too. Did she tell the internet? No. But would she tell every single person in my family if I did something or something happened or I tell her something in confidence? Absolutely. So there was a lot of shit that when I was younger, I purposely didn't share with my mom because I knew she would go around and tell everybody in my family about it. So it definitely closed me off to having a lot of honest conversations with her and sharing things about my life because I didn't need. So, I mean, her son's old enough now to be able to discern that his mom's a blabbermouth. I mean, look, I showed proof of it the other day here, right here on my channel when did I show that or did I leave a comment? Now I'm getting confused, but there was proof. Oh, I did. I showed it the other day. Last time I went live, you go back to my last live. She was, doing the whole mom of the year act, while he was in the room. Oh, I'm going to get you a new iPhone. And how about we bring your friends out to dinner? We'll bring everybody out to dinner to a fancy restaurant. And he said he didn't want to say where he was going because he's aware, right? He's smart enough kid to know. And I actually applauded him on my channel. He's a smart enough kid to know that there's fucking crazy people on YouTube that would show up or, you know what I'm saying? Or try to destroy his birthday. So, I mean, I'm not blaming him, but, he's going to have to, unfortunately, keep things from his mother that had no fucking boundaries and no respect. Nobody in that house has any privacy whatsoever on anything in their life. It's disgusting. Yeah, dude, it's sad. It's fucking sad. Claimed he gave her the letter. Yeah, she says he gave it to her. But you know what's funny? When she pulled it out of her pocket, she goes, "Oh, laundry money, right?" So clearly she was doing laundry. So I suspect that she found it, and I don't think he gave it to her. Just my personal opinion, my personal opinion. But again, I don't agree with contacting the school because I really just don't. I think that's a little alarmist behavior, to be just quite honest with you. You could hate me if you want, for saying that. But I think it's a little bit over the top to be, doing that. I mean, and it's I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with what she did. I just think the whole thing should have never happened. But, the school, you just got to, sometimes think, realistically, what is the school even going to do about that? There's nothing they could do about it. I know parents that have gone to the school and actually told the school that their child's being bullied and bullied and bullied, and the school does nothing. There's nothing they could really do preemptively to, watch over a grown ass woman. I mean, as shitty as that is, it sucks for her son, who's a teenager and in a vulnerable place in his life that his own mother can't just shut her fucking mouth because she's too. It's more important to her to make her look like her son's the fucking most popular kid in Hershey High, than it is, or wherever the fuck he goes, than it is for her to, protect him and give him some privacy growing up, Well, listen, Irish Angel, I don't know what their policy is, but is that even considered bullying? I don't know. I don't really know. And that's just, to me, I personally wouldn't contact anybody. And that's it. And listen, this asshole's gone in my real life. Okay. This is somebody who's actually fucking doxed my family, doxed me, fucking had me swatted by her best friend. Okay. And God knows what else that's happened to me on here, right? That she's played a role in. And even then I wouldn't do it, you know? Because I'm not about getting back at people. I'm about doing the right thing, you know, what's right. And for me personally, I don't think that's right. I just don't think that's going to do anything. Her son was bullied last year because of her big ass mouth. Right. Well, then that's on her, man. She's got to fucking take that into consideration, you know? It clearly hasn't learned her lesson. Clearly, which is sad. And again, makes me feel sorry for her son because I just can't imagine that, you know? I look at it like the girl's lucky that happened and that he's not interested in her because this is what you have to fucking deal with. You know, what if let's just say there was, you know, something more personal in that letter, something that happened between them. You know what I'm saying? She's fucking putting that out on blast on the internet. That's mortifying, dude. Can make it more embarrassing. But again, she chooses to do these things. And she knows she's not stupid. She knows she takes that chance though. It's like the reward is far more important than the risk. You know what I'm saying for her? So, I mean, she has the same reason of deduction as the rest of us do, and she still chooses to do these things. I mean, you know, she seems to think she's untouchable. Now she doesn't get to turn around and claim that she's a victim because you need to stop fucking, you know, doing this shit. Keep getting that clip from Philly too. It's like The Walking Dead. Which clip is that? I can't imagine thinking she doesn't have a daughter. I think she would try to compete with her. Oh my God, crazy Gemini. Narcissistic mothers, like that's usually what happens. They usually have one child that's the golden child, right? And that's the one whose accomplishments they could brag about and their grades and everything like that. And then they have another child who, you know, becomes like a competition for them, you know. They'll say things like, oh, my ass is going to be smaller. This fucking thing keeps muting me. You know, they'll say things like that. They'll say it'll become a competition. Who's prettier? Who's skinnier? You know? Yeah. So thank God she doesn't have a daughter. I agree. Children are seen as an extension of self and cannot be thought of as individuals or having their own interests. It's always related to what benefits the parent by proxy. That's so fucking true. You know, it's always like, you ever notice? Yeah, she does do that. You know, he's an extension of her. You know, she brags about his accomplishments and what she's done for him to like contribute to that, you know, not looked at, hey, mom jeans, not looked at as his own individual personality. Oh, she found that I believe nothing she says. Had that been my kids, I would have taken it out, walked to his room and laid it on his dresser. Not my business. I know, twin thing. That's sad, you know, really sad. He spent a month riding along with them this year and loved it. What's that? I just look at what she says about Jake's girlfriends. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, she humiliates these girls. There's no question. I mean, she seems to want people in her town to know, and not just in her town, but you know, just people in general, to know that she's, you know, a YouTube star. Yesterday there was actually a clip where she called this man up from that, you know, hotline or whatever, and she said something to him and he got angry and he's like, don't call me back, because he knew that she was being played, right? So she's so goddamn narcissistic, and again, not worried about her family's safety, okay? That Valentina, not only did she open the letter, she read it on a live. She read this very personal letter from this girl, supposedly, right? On this live, on a live. It's clipped. I'm not playing it on here because I'm just not doing that, but it's out there and it's clipped on the Kool-Aid channel if you want to hear it. I refuse to play it on here. I'm not going to do that to the girl. You know, she's already been fucking embarrassed enough by this asshole. Anyway, the fuck was I saying? Oh, I always forget what I'm saying. Oh, so she's telling this guy, right? The guy is like, don't call me back again, right? So she gets mad and the guy hangs up on her and she calls him back, okay? And she's like, I had a cookie in my mouth, like a fucking idiot. And then he hangs up again, and he says more than one time. Now, this is not, again, the person who tells, oh, this one's obsessed and that one's obsessed. But, she's calling these people over and over again, harassing them, because once somebody tells you not to contact them again and you do, you just cross the line to harassment. Okay. This thing keeps muting me. I apologize. So she calls back for a third time, and she's like, you don't know who this is. This is YouTuber Molly Golightly. You don't know who you're dealing with. And I'm like, well, now you've pissed this man off. Okay. You don't know where in the country this guy is. You've pissed this man off, right? By calling him, harassing him after he's asked you several times not to contact him anymore. Okay. And then you're so narcissistic that you had to let this guy know that you're not just anybody. You're not just some normal person that's calling on this hotline. You're a fucking YouTuber. And not only did you put his fucking business out on Front Street on YouTube, but you harassed him and made him look like a fucking idiot on YouTube. I mean, you're not that hard to find. Your information is extremely easy to find for anybody to do, okay? Without having even any knowledge of you, they could find you. So why would you do that? You just put your family in danger with some strange guy because you wanted to make people laugh on the internet. Is it worth it? But see, here's what happens when these things now start happening to her and some psycho shows up at her fucking house from this hotline. She's going to be the victim and everybody's going to feel bad for her. But you're the one putting your fucking family in danger with these strange men, making a joke out of whatever the fuck. Girl, you need help. You fucking need help. Yeah, she'd have better luck saying I'm a monster face. She always says if Adrian wants to leave, she won't try to stop him. But if she's offended, but she is so offended he hung up on her, she called back twice. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, her own husband left. She would just idly sit by and wait to see how much money she was going to collect. But she's harassing some strange man on a hotline. Okay, girl, we get it. You think you turned it around, but you're playing a fucking dangerous game of Russian roulette right now with that fucking hotline. And I don't really think it's very smart what you're doing, but hey, she really hasn't learned her fucking lesson yet online, and I'm not going to be the one to teach it to her because I know karma will take care of that shit. I know that's like her fucking thing, but I'm saying like when she finally does learn her lesson, it's going to be in a big fucking way. Trust me. And it's so funny. I think somebody actually said that to her. And she said, oh, well, if something does happen, call Nancy Grace. Make sure I'm on. Like that's what she's worried about. She's more concerned. She's not concerned about how her child would feel if something happened to her husband. She's concerned about being covered on TV in her last attempt to get attention. That's how badly she wants it, that she even wants attention in death. Fuck out of here, dude. I feel really bad for her fucking family. I do. That's embarrassing. Just beyond embarrassing what she puts her family through. My husband would forget it. My husband would be like, no, Liana, no. No. I can't even imagine. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking about that. Like, if I just told my husband, like, yeah, I'm gonna fly to fucking Florida, right? And I'm gonna stand out in front of these people's houses with a fucking megaphone. My husband, first of all, I think his first and foremost, his concern would be for my safety, obviously, and like that's the thing that really gets me is that her husband doesn't seem concerned at all whatsoever about her safety at all. Like, and that's weird to me because like I think that would be first and foremost his concern would be my safety, and like not going and pissing people off like that and exposing yourself and letting everybody on the internet know where I'm going to be, I think that's what would bother him, like, first and foremost. And then, he'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why are you harassing people? That you don't deserve answers. The fact that her husband, like, allows this shit. I mean, I hate to say that because, like, you shouldn't couples shouldn't control each other, right? And allow or disallow the people to do things. But I wouldn't do it, A, just because I don't like harassing people, but B, I mean, just out of respect for my husband, I wouldn't do it. And my safety and my son, I wouldn't do things like that because I would be worried about, my safety and my husband's safety and my child's safety. So not only does she not have respect for any of that, but her husband doesn't either because he allows that shit to go on. And it seems to me that he seems to, I guess, think that this is normal behavior, and I don't know if that's from years of trauma bonding to her and being gaslit. And, I'm not really sure, but I have a feeling that's a little bit of what's going on there because, that's not normal. I mean, he has to know that this isn't, normal, rational behavior from her, from her. You would think. No, she's never going to learn her lesson, Pugwash. And you're probably right. I agree. I'm just saying, like, there'll be some form of karma that she will have to deal with. Will she actually learn the lesson from it? Probably not, but because I do think that the money and the attention and everything is 10 times more important to her than anything. But, and as long as she has enablers there, her husband, and her mom, her sister, all these people in her personal life that enable her behavior, it's never going to stop, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's an enabler, dude. He's an enabler. Sometimes it's not just, you're not just, that term gets used a lot with addicts and alcoholics, enablers, that people enable them to continue with their addiction. But it's also with behavior too. There's people who, might enable somebody with a mental illness or, something else to continue on acting out, and it seems to me like that's exactly what he does, is enables this behavior from her. I mean, at some point in time, I remember when I was swatted, okay, she said that if anything like that ever happened to me, my husband would throw my laptop out the window and girl, you've the shit that you've done. How is your husband not throwing your fucking laptop out of the window yet? You know what I'm saying? You've been arrested. It's been like, how embarrassing is that to his name and his family? I mean, ugh. His name is out there, his first and last name, her first and last name. I mean, if your husband hasn't thrown your fucking laptop out the window yet, I don't know, man. But that tells me he's a fucking very, very bad enabler to your behavior. That is just not normal, dude, in any capacity. It's just not. Her husband went on wife swap. He did. He absolutely did. Yeah. Which, fine. You know what I'm saying? It's a show. It definitely, she tries to paint the picture that he's like this big tough guy who wears the pants in the family. I don't believe that. I think she's the one who controls everything personally, because like for a man to allow that kind of shit to go on in his house under his roof, yeah. Something's not right there, dude. Nothing. I mean, I hate assigning gender roles like that and shit, but he'd say, you're not going to embarrass my son and myself and my family name, like that. I mean, just think more of this stuff. If you type her name into Google or on here, you're going to find more negative than positive. I've torn them to shreds with my bare hands. He's a seaman that goes real life looking people up for her over YouTube drama. No respect. I don't think he even does that, KB Bills. to be quite honest with you, I think he like completely tries to. I don't know if I don't even know if that he watches what she does. To be quite honest with you, I can't imagine that he does because I mean, listen, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but he seems like a fucking normal, rational human being in some senses, you know. So I mean, like he can't be watching every single thing that she does. I just think it's like he thinks of it. It's like that's her thing. You know what I'm saying? And like that's her thing, and that's it. Just like if you go to like shopping or go to the nail salon, your husband's like, whatever, just go do your thing. He looks at it like that. And maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. I don't see how he can't, but I mean, it does seem like he's in the know. Oh, he admitted it. Oh, well, that's great. He can't stop a car loan, dude. That is absurd. Maybe if somebody came into like a dealership that he worked at, but if he fucks with anybody's credit, all right, listen, I'm just going to put this out there. Any person on here, if you know his name, could easily find his LinkedIn and see what he does for a living. Just saying. Just saying. Okay? She said he had a friend look up one person on her live. Well, she said that about me, and guess what? I got, I have a car, so. You know what's funny? I was thinking about that because there was a clip Michelle was talking about how something with her car, and she's like, it's a Range Rover, a very expensive car, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, bitch, and you're welcome, because she bought that car. If you guys remember, I got my car because my last one was up for the lease. I had gotten a new phone and a new car, and like literally a week later, she went out and bought that car and bought a new phone because she was like feeling a little insecure that somebody got something new and she didn't. She spent about $55K in a month. I don't think she speaks to Letitia other than continuing to pay her to something to lie. I also think she's feeding her stuff about KJ that isn't true. Oh, absolutely, Twin Dang. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I don't think that she speaks to her. And I think that if she does, I think that, and because she used to do this with like, not Susan. What was her name? Rusek. Oh my God. Sandy? Is that it? Sandy Rusek? Sandra Rusek? She would, I felt a lot of the time she would embellish things that Sandy would say, or she would lie a lot and say that Sandy said things, or Sandy calls her a lot, or, she tried to almost make people believe that she was life coaching the Ruseks, which was fucking weird, because in all reality, I'm not even sure what happened. I know what happened between her and the son, but I'm not really sure what happened because her and the mother clearly fell out or disconnected at some point in time. And she never really talked about it. So we don't know exactly what happened there, but there was something, it could have been over the son, and how she was talking about horribly about the woman's son on lives and exposing really personal shit. I don't know, but yeah. But she used to kind of do the same thing. She'll throw that name out there because she's a fucking total name dropper. She's been doing that also for years, where she just throws names, she'll throw Vinnie Politan out there. Like, she's a name dropper. So, she probably doesn't talk to Letitia all that much. I don't listen. I've read, there's that channel, Nonsense Channel, that all these people keep insisting is Katie. And I don't think I did at first. I'll be honest with you guys. At very first, when I first saw it, because I found that channel through Katie, through her Facebook page, right? And I was like, they're using a voice disguiser. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sounds like Katie, but the person since has shared their voice, their real voice. So it's not Katie. But I definitely thought it was at first, because I found it on Katie's, page, and at the time the person only had like 200 subscribers, and I was like, whatever. But this person, whoever they are, seems to have some type of insider access to like these Vaughn groups, the Justice for Vaughn group and stuff. And she's been showing a lot of the text messages and private DMs between Letitia and all these other people, right? And if you ask me, I think Letitia is not stupid. Okay. She's on to MGL being a piece of shit, but she could be using her because it's helping her, make money and stuff. Or she's, I don't know. Or she's not, maybe she has disconnected and stopped talking to her, because that wouldn't surprise me. Adrian didn't get any background. MGL most likely paid $4.99 on Ben verified. Yeah, probably. You're probably right. You're probably 100% right. She always does that thing where she's like, it's not me. I'm not getting the information. She always does that. That's like such a common. I think LB is a player. MGL got played at her own game. Yeah, you're probably right, Pugs. I mean, that's extremely possible. But anyway, all right, I have to get off here, guys, because I do have to get some stuff done. I got somewhere to go today. But as per usual, it was great talking to you guys. And I will be back around sometime in the near future. I just got things to do. I just looked at the clock and I'm like, yeah, I got to start getting moving. So, but it was lovely talking to you guys as per usual. And I will see you guys soon. All right. Hope everybody has a good day. Go outside and get some fresh air. All right. I'm out.